Welcome to Lazy Reviews. The days are getting shorter, the weather is getting colder, we're approaching that end of the year. Regardless of how you may celebrate this time of the year, if you indeed do celebrate, I think it is as good time as any to watch horror movies. That's why today I'll be talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. I should let you know that I will be approaching spoiler territory, or probably spoiling heavily, because honestly, these are at best B movies and they're slashers, and the plot doesn't really matter. The kills do, or perhaps also other things, as we will discuss, but really, spoiling these won't ruin any pleasure you will have, if there's indeed any way they possibly can bring you any pleasure.
It's a bullshit question. It's impossible to answer.
Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984 opens up in 1971, where this family of a mom, dad, a son, and a baby son visit a grandfather who is at this care home, retirement home, I presume. He seems to be, if not suffering from brain damage, then maybe be senile because he's just sitting in his chair, completely docile, unresponsive to anyone near him, until he's left alone with the young son, who is around 6 years old at this time. When he's alone with him, he suddenly comes alive and starts rambling like a madman that Santa Claus is really here to punish those who are naughty. That if you made any transgression during your year, Santa Claus will punish you, regardless of your age. He will even punish adults. So he just installs this fear into this young kid. And as that family is starting back home, it just so happens that a man dressed in a Santa costume commits armed robbery, murder, then stops them in the middle of the street, in the middle of nowhere, presumably to ask for help. But as the second that mom and dad stop the car, of course the son is warning them about Santa, and he's terrified even before anything happens. He's terrified of Santa Claus, because of course he would. His grandfather just warned him about Santa. The robber dressed as Santa Claus comes up, shoots the dad, proceeds to tear open the shirt of the lady. He's about to do something very unsavory to her, but she fights him so much. Actually, she doesn't even put up that much of a fight. She slaps him once, and being slapped once makes him change his mind and just slit her throat. And not only does the audience see this, the young son escaped the car, sees this happen while hiding in the bush. The murderer then leaves them, pretty much just to die in the snow. But actually, they are lucky. They are saved and brought to an orphanage. Not one of those, nice orphanages just where people care about children. This is the 70s after all, so this orphanage is Catholic and run by nuns. And oh boy, are those nuns bad people. Of course, there's one good nun, but the Mother Superior is one mean son of a bitch. It fast forwards 3 years. It's obvious that this kid is deeply traumatized about what happened. That, of course, witnessing his mom and dad die has left a permanent mark. For whatever reason, the nuns have found it difficult to believe that he still lives with this trauma, that he remembers these events. I mean, this is not a kid who was 3 years old when this happened. He was 6, 7 years old when he saw his parents die. That is an age where memories stick with you. Especially when it's only 3 years later. Like, what did they expect? Already from the beginning, this movie reveals how bad the plot is. Christmas is approaching, so he draws a small drawing of Santa Claus and a reindeer being killed with arrows. And he's getting in a lot of trouble for that, of course, because these people, they are Christians, so I will be doing a lot of Christian bashing in this video. Please don't take personal offense to it, but just the way these people behave, wow. Of course don't believe in trying to treat his problems and trying to treat him as a human being and trying to understand where his trauma and emotions come from. No, every time he shows any sign of reaction to the trauma he's experienced, he's being beaten by this Mother Superior. He witnesses two people having sex. He's beaten for doing that. He tries to just deal with his damn trauma, and he's beaten for it. So yes, this Mother Superior, to prove that he can be cured of this trauma, brings in Santa Claus around Christmas to the orphanage and forces the kid to sit in the lap of Santa Claus. And, the kid resists. Like, what did she expect? And as he resists violently, I should add, because, he thinks this Santa killed his parents, she beats him again. So this kid is brought up in this indoctrinated religious sphere where no matter what you do, if you do anything bad, like if you do any sin, if you have sex, if you swear whatever you do, you will be punished for it, not just in your afterlife, but also just by the Mother Superior who'll beat you relentlessly. Of course, nothing spells Christmas like Christian indoctrination and mistreatment of children. It shouldn't get to me this much because the movie isn't that good, but it's just knowing how a lot of people have been and still are brought up by people like this, raised by fanatics. It's hard, man, it's hard. But the movie fast forwards to 1984. He's now 18. His brother, I should add, still lives at the orphanage. It's not really established. He's not really in the story that much, but he still does live there. And there are scenes with him, only that we don't know it's the brother. Because the movie doesn't really tell us, probably, that it's the brother. And this good nun who tried to help him a bit in the orphanage, she helps him get a job. And he gets a job at this toy store. Now, this is a toy store, it's important. It also has a big axe on the wall. One might say a Chekhov's axe. And he's doing quite well there, of course. He takes his indoctrination with him, so it's a bit strange. There's a love interest. But fantasizing about her, he beats himself up over it. Of course, he's not supposed to fantasize about girls, so that's a big problem for him. He gets into trouble with his manager because the manager is swearing, and it leads to him around Christmas time to instead get the job as Santa Claus in this store, which actually isn't that big of a problem for him, even though he has that trauma. Is he cured? He gets this role of course, having all the kids sit on his lap, but he's traumatizing all these children, saying that, if you misbehave, Santa Claus will come and punish you. And all the parents and all the store owners like, oh, he's so good with children. And these children barely never talk to the parents because if they did, he would be in so much trouble. But that's just a movie. Nobody talks to each other. It's the 80s after all. Maybe parents didn't talk to the children. That's what I heard was the case. After Christmas is over, they close up the shop and have a big party. He serves everyone alcohol, like the love interest, the manager, him. There are only 5 people in the store. Like, it's a very big store, it seems, but the only 5 people working there, sure. I'm not really sure you're allowed to serve alcohol to 18-year-olds in America, but no, okay, he does. He's still wearing the costume, and I guess this is the first time this teenager is drinking alcohol, because he gets quite drunk, and as he's drunk, the manager approaches him saying, oh, you have a long night ahead of you. Shouldn't you get started? And the drunk antagonist? Just, what do you mean? Oh, the manager, oh, but you know what Santa Claus is doing Christmas Eve, don't you? What? To that, of course, he replies, "Oh, I know," and that's it. Then the manager goes, I guess I'll leave again. This party's dead anyway. This movie is poorly written, by the way. As this is going on, the love interest and the asshole manager or whatever he is, they've been kissing or flirting a bit during the party. Then he takes her aside, saying, "Oh, I have a present for you." She, oh, what is it? And he's just, I can't just take it out. It's not for everyone to see. And she's, oh, I'm so intrigued. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's actually out here in the storeroom. Why don't you come and see it? And she's, oh, I'm so curious to what you have. Like, how naive can she be? And of course, takes her to the storeroom, is about to do the no-no with her. In walks our drunk Santa protagonist, seeing as the asshole tears open her shirt, revealing her breasts. This reminds the protagonist, of course, of how his parents were killed, and triggers him, making him proceed to strangle or hang with Christmas lights. And then, for whatever reason, like, the morality is not, the movie doesn't really tell you what's going on that much. So he also decides that the woman needs to be killed. Because his mom was? I don't really know. And then he goes on to just kill everyone. He kills every single one in the store. Of course, he takes the axe, kills someone with that. And remember, I said it was a toy store. But for some reason, he finds a bow and arrow and kills someone with it. So much so, like, the arrow shoots straight through her heart, penetrating into the reach the other side. What kind of toy store has a bow and arrow that can kill people? Like, who would give that child that kind of toy? I know it was the 80s, it was different, but still. That makes him proceed to go on a killing spree. He kills some more teenagers, fornicating teenagers, Apparently it takes him a long time because it turns into the next day and he then tries to go to the orphanage to kill the Mother Superior. Probably walking there, presumably walking there. And I will of course have to spoil it because I'll be talking about the other movies in the franchise as well. Just as he's about to kill the Mother Superior, he's being shot dead by the police. And that's about it for the main plot. Of course, there'll be more things worth talking about, which I will be doing now. So yes, this is a movie about how religious indoctrination or Christian indoctrination and unloving caretakers plus trauma creates this psychopathic behavior. Not that I really think the movie wants to make such a statement, it's just it needs a reason for this slasher behavior. A bad reason because there's really no rules, nothing is really established in this movie, it's really lackluster. But as I said, it is a slasher. It doesn't really care too much about the story, evidently. I think it has a body count of 11 people. It has a boob count of 8 or 4 pairs of boobs. You see a surprising amount of breasts in this movie. So if you like blood, if you like murder, if you like boobs, this at least has some qualities for you. It has stupid plot devices. It has a lot of boring kills. It also has some cool kills like people being strangled with Christmas decorations. It has someone being impaled on a trophy, animal trophy on a wall of a deer with big antlers, and she's being impaled on it. That's a decent kill. It has a lot of axe murders. Is it good? I don't know. It's a decent slasher. It's not a bad movie. It's a really stupid movie, but it is slasher fun. It has bad lines of dialogue. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, the movie has cool kills. It's just everything else that really sucks about it. But no, that's often what you get with slashers. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it entertaining or useful or, well, something like that. And stay tuned for the next video, which will be on Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.